Everyone, so recently I reached out to a few of my subscribers and I asked them, point blank, what do you guys want to know from me? Like, what have I not discussed in videos that you want to know about me as far as my lifestyle, plant-based nutrition and everything? And I got some really good feedback from you guys. And one of the common questions across the board was, what's my workout routine like? And what's it like compared to when I first started? Okay, so let's start with the genesis of it all, the very beginning. As you all know, I was 465 pounds 3.5 years ago. I had set foot in a gym in probably 10 years. Just getting out of bed in the morning was a workout. Just walking to the bathroom was a workout. I remember going up flights of stairs and having to stop just to catch my breath and let my heart settle down a little bit. So I was completely out of shape. I mean, completely out of shape. And so when I first started the high carb vegan lifestyle, I didn't really exercise a whole lot for about that first month or so. I let a little bit of weight come off first, about 50 pounds come off first. I just got used to the nutrition aspect because I kind of believe that nutrition and weight loss starts in the kitchen. That's where it began. That's where it begins, and that's where it began with me. And so for that first month, I really didn't do a whole lot. Other than working and here and there, other than working and taking walks around the neighborhood, 20-minute walks here and there, I really didn't do a whole lot. It really wasn't that intensive cardio. I'd say right around month 2, I started doing walking more frequently. I went from doing about a mile per walk 3 days a week to doing, a mile and a half, and then 2 miles, then 45 minutes, hour walks. And the more condition I got, the more I upped it, right? The more intensity the more I pushed myself, more intensity. So I'd say right around month 3 or 4 is when I started doing a lot of hiking. I needed more of a challenge. The walking around the neighborhood thing just really wasn't doing it for me anymore. It was getting really boring, and I'm kind of somebody who gets kind of bored really quickly. So I started hiking. And just like with the walking, I started doing more and more intense hiking, with more elevation, longer climbs, everything as my cardio and as my cardio just got better. I eventually got a gym membership, and I remember that was really tough for me. It was kind of a challenge. And I know that I'm speaking for a lot of people what I'm about to say to you guys, and that is I was very self-conscious about going to the gym. As a bigger guy, I was afraid that people were going to judge me, that my walking speed wasn't going to be very good on the treadmill, that I wouldn't be able to lift very much, etc. And I felt like everyone was going to be looking at me and judging me, and I didn't like that feeling. But I had to get past my fear. I had to put my fear to the side and realize that my health was more important, that I really needed that. And flash forward 3 years later, I realize now that no one's paying attention to you. Like nobody really cares. And honestly, if I see somebody in the gym who's heavy set, overweight, I'm thinking, good for them, right on. Like they're in there and they're trying to get their health on board, and they're trying to lose weight, whatever. Like that's and truth be told, it's not easy working out next to people who are, next to guys that are, 6 foot tall, 220 pounds, solid brick. It's not easy, But I'll tell you something. I worked out with these guys, and they're more self-conscious than you are. All right. So they're not paying attention to you. I just want to get that out in the open. All right. No one is going to judge you. No one's going to judge you in the gym. Going back to what I was saying earlier, I started doing hiking, got the gym membership, and I remember when I first started to run. Well, I call it was more jogging than anything else. But I started jogging, and I remember I was doing like 12-minute miles. Nothing, now comparatively, it's nothing to write home about. But I was really proud of myself. I mean, I went from, pretty much bedridden, right, to jogging a 12-minute mile. I was like, wow, man, look at how much I've progressed in this last year or so, right? In my first year. And so as I got more conditioned to jogging, I started running. And then my mileage time started going down like every couple weeks or so. I went from 12 minutes to like 11 and a half, 11. And I remember when I first cracked that 10-minute barrier, I had a coworker of mine who's a marathon runner. And, he was like, all right, man, you're going to do it. You're going to do it. And I had him there for encouragement. And it was like, right on, man, And I remember when I did it, I just felt so I just felt so happy, and I felt so proud of myself. And it was like, wow, I ran a 10-minute mile. Like, I did it. You know, then the 10-minute miles turned into 9-minute miles. The 9-minute miles turned to 8 miles. And then I started, you know, running 5Ks. And then, you know, I eventually worked my 5K time down from, you know, 30 minutes to my best, which was like 21 and a half, 22 minutes. And you know, it was like, wow, I'm still kind of in disbelief sometimes when I think about how much I progressed in that year and a half, 2 years or so. And then I started doing 10Ks. And then I eventually, within this last year or so, about a year ago from today, I introduced cycling into my workout routine. And I noticed right at the bat how much easier cycling was on my joints. You know, because I was running a lot. At my peak, I was running 36 miles a week. I was running 6 10Ks a week, taking one day off. And I did that routinely for a very long time. And it just wore my body down, man. It wore my back down, my joints, my knees. The recovery time for running was very long, extended. I mean, it took a couple of days for me to really recover. With cycling, I mean, I can go in there every day and do it. I can still get a great workout. I can still maintain my weight. You know, and so I kind of ditched the running temporarily, and I just concentrated mostly on cycling. And you know, truth be told, you're going to burn more calories when you're running. You know, then there's an argument which one is better for you, which one's better for weight loss. I mean, I think that if you're in the gym and you're busting your ass and you're giving all you got, and you're working your cardio, you're working your heart, you're breathing heavy, you're doing what you need to do. You're going to lose weight. You're getting healthier. Okay. So that debate, I don't really get involved with that. And so, you know, if I look at my life over the last 3 years and I look at how much has progressed, I went from bedridden to running 6 10Ks a week. All right. That's something I pat myself on the back for. And I'm not somebody who gives myself a lot of credit. You know, I'm the kind of person who feels like there's always room for improvement. Like, if you could do 6 10Ks a week, you should be doing 7. If you could run a 7-minute mile, which I can do, you should be able to run a 6-minute mile, which I can also do. Right? So I always feel like there's room for improvement, and that's just how I am. That's just my philosophy. And so I don't give myself a lot of credit. But if I was somebody looking in at my life, right? And I don't mean to sound conceited, but if I was someone looking in and look at my story, you know, where I started, you know, where I was at 465 pounds, completely out of shape 3.5 years ago, to now being able to run 10 miles without stopping, to being able to run 6 10Ks a week. I just cycled 961 miles from Port Townsend, Washington to San Francisco, California. Something I would have never been able to do if I hadn't lost the weight, if I hadn't, you know, been in the gym training for the last 3 years. I mean, all those things were contributing factors, right? And so now, you know, now that I'm kind of on vacation, I'm here in San Diego for the next month. My workout routine is kind of like what it was right before I left on my tour back on June 1st. I'm in the gym usually 5 to 6 days a week, and I don't really have a set program as far as weight training is concerned. I kind of go with how my body feels, you know, and I always do cardio. Whenever I set foot in the gym, I'm always going to do cardio, and I always do cardio first. And you know, a lot of people say, oh, you shouldn't do cardio first, or you should do cardio and weight training on different days. I don't really believe in all that, because obviously what I'm doing is working. It's working for me, and that's what really matters the most, right? So what I do now is I go based off of how my body feels, like I was saying. I may work buys, tries, and traps 3 times in a week. And I'm not somebody who really believes that you can overtrain. I think that if you're getting adequate rest, you're getting enough calories and nutrition, you shouldn't have a problem with muscle recovery. And you know, and truth be told, I don't go insanely heavy. I'm not Ronnie Coleman. I'm not putting 800 pounds on my back and squatting. You know, I'm not doing that. But I'm pushing myself pretty hard. Like when I'm in the gym, I'm there to bust ass. When I put those headphones in and I get on that bike, I mean, I pretend like I'm Lance Armstrong in there, okay? I mean, there's sweat puddles all over the floor. People are looking at me. I mean, I remember I trained with a buddy of mine. He was like, dude, I think you're gonna fucking have a heart attack, man. Like, how intense you go, you know? And that's just the way that I am. Like, if I'm gonna go in there, I'm gonna give it my all. I'm gonna leave no stone unturned. I'm not gonna leave any ounce of energy left unused, untapped. And so, What I do is I kind of do upper body splits. Like I'll do a full upper body workout one day, and I'll work my legs like another day, right? But like I said, I don't go insanely heavy, so I'm able to go and do that every single day routinely. I just noticed that's the best for me as far as toning, strength, and also putting on muscle. Let's see what else with my exercise routine. Like I said, I really don't do much running anymore. I kind of miss it. I really don't like running in the gym. I don't like the treadmill, you know. And even at my gym back in the Seattle area, they had a cardio theater, and you can watch a movie while you're running. And even that, it just bored me. I get so bored on the treadmill. Now I am a trail runner. I love to run the trails. I love just weaving in and out of branches and trees, and you know, going down the path, and you know, getting scraped up muddy and weaving in and out of people and stuff. That's fun to me. I like that. That's an adventure, and that's worth running for. But going on a treadmill, that's just not for me. And everyone's different. Everyone has their opinions, but that's just mine. You know, so bringing it all full circle, I really want to encourage you guys to work out. I cannot, you know, stress the importance of exercise when it comes to weight loss. And I know that, you know, I said, and I really mean that, you know, that weight loss starts in the kitchen, but you know, having a good exercise program is that extra cherry on top, man. It's that extra little oomph, you know. So, you know, don't be afraid to get a gym membership. Don't be afraid to get out there, strap on your running gear, and run the neighborhood. Because no one's paying attention to you. No one's going to judge you. You know, and if they are going to judge you, that's a reflection of them and not you. All right? Because I was once that way, and you know, I'm not anymore. And I'm very thankful for that. So you know, I got a lot of questions from you guys, and I'm going to answer them probably in a series of videos rather than having a 30-minute video talking about 4 or 5, 6 different questions. I'm going to release them in videos so that I can get as much information out there as possible. All right, guys, that's it. Go vegan.